bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com.
The Sports Fix is on iHeartRadio. Download the free iHeart app today. Subscribe to the show and get your fix.
You love Cleveland, and you already know how much we love Cleveland. You know who else loves Cleveland? GV Art and Design. Everyday fans, you and I wear our pride on our sleeves. Now, you can wear your pride on your chest. GV Art and Design has one of the hottest Cleveland sporting lines. Log on right now to gvartwork.com. Check out all of their fantastic designs.
And don't forget, use the sales code FIX10, FIX10, to save 10% on your total purchase.
Follow gvartwork.com on Facebook, and remember, GV Art and Design, it's not just a shirt, it's a statement.
Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. Real time spent making real decisions, creating real victory.
I'm the greatest man in the world!
And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize.
I mean, a really real prize.
Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs.
The trophy's 12 feet high, and it is glorious!
Football, baseball, hoops, you name it, they have it. Plus, they have awesome draft kits and party supplies to make all your preseason activities the envy of everyone. If your league needs a ring, belt, or trophy, or you want to upgrade what you already have, there's literally only one place to go. If you're going to be a fantasy jock, do it right.
It's mine, the most magnificent belt ever created, and it's mine.
With America's fantasy sports superstore, fantasyjocks.com. Now.
I dig it.
Well, busy day here. I don't know, anything going on in your world, man? It's flying behind the scenes. Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you. Yeah, this is only segment 2. Phone lines exploded. I missed a half a dozen calls during that segment because of my inability to bank those calls, man. So there you go. If anybody wants to buy us something for Christmas, you can buy us about 6 more phone lines to go with that one. But anyways, I apologize, and you guys, I'm going to open them back up on the back end of the show as we always do. So sit tight. I'll get you your opportunity to get back in. And as always, I may have a few here. I'm going to have to go check all the missed calls. I may have a few people who left messages on the hotline. Remember, if you're calling and you can't get through, that's what the voice message line is for, baby. Leave us a message. And it's always a great way to leave your take as we're going live, but it gives me the opportunity to drop it in as soon as I get done with the current caller that I'm on. So keep that in mind, you guys. And if your call was missed in the first montage, that was one big giant segment there of the show, then call and leave it on the hotline, guys. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. Mike Pettine's press conference going on live as we speak here as he explains the decision that the Browns made here, which we've been talking about, to stick with Brian Hoyer this week and give the team the opportunity to go out there and do what they set out to do. And that's it. I'm with it. Like I said, guys, relax. At this point, it's academic. It'll handle itself. And this is what the Browns know. And I didn't understand why everybody was going crazy. It's going to handle itself. Either Hoyer's going to play well. It doesn't even matter, that part of it. Either the Browns as a team are going to play well and win, and we'll have this conversation next week about winning and playoffs and all of that, or they're going to lose, and they're going to get ready for next year. Just like any other team. When you get down to the stretch and it's over, you start playing the kids. So it's easy. It'll handle itself. So simple here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to pick that up where we left off and talk a little Indians as well with my man Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. So keep the conversation going on the message line, 216-539-7535, and on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. I'm going to the phone lines. My man Mike Brandenberry. Mike, how you doing this afternoon?
What's going on, Jerry? I was sitting here on hold, listening to your caller before the break, and then listening to you coming back, and I was thinking, they say timing is everything, and so you talk about timing being nothing for you right now in your show. You have Browns news, investing to stay here long term, and your first guest out of the gate is the guy talking about the team that has done the least. I mean, we have like go down and knock on the door over at Progressive Field and be like, "You guys still in there? Everybody okay?" And
my man.
And there's stuff going on all over, and then you have me on the phone.
It's sad, but he's making a good point. But I'm not. I love Mike.
Timing is everything. This week, timing is nothing.
Absolutely, man. And what can you do? But it's all good. Actually, though, you and I have been talking about this behind the scenes. I mean, you also, while you may, of course, your full-time passion there is the Indians and just writing about them. But we've had some conversations about this. And as I was telling people, you and I were saying just before the show, you could have the great sociological debate about just the intrinsic battle that is, whether you want to term it Hoyer Manziel or just that guy versus that guy. They can't be more contrast stories, contrast people, contrast characters. I mean, there is a lot of the storytelling aspects to that, regardless of who the quarterback is for the Browns.
Yeah, it was one of our writers, Steve Eby, I work with at our paying jobs also, and I was telling him yesterday, and kind of the same with you this morning. I would love to get like a sociology teacher's take on Hoyer v. Manziel this year, because to me, I just look at it and if Cleveland knows anything, they know quarterback controversies or mediocre quarterback play. I mean, if this is not the epicenter of quarterback drama, I don't know where it is. And I know you and I have talked before, both on and off the air. I am not the biggest Browns fan in the world. I'm not an anti-Browns fan in any way, but I'm not diehard, get my dog bone necklace and head down to Lake Erie on Sunday either. But I look at this kind of from an outsider's view because of that. And whether it's Hoyer, to me, Hoyer and Manziel is a quarterback controversy or competition, whatever word you want to use, like this town has never had. And I just think that I have never seen Browns fans argue with one another over who they think is the best quarterback for the team, but I have never seen fans take it so personal as they have this time around. And I feel like there are like demographics of people, and I mean you can almost draw the lines. Like you said, the stories are so different in Hoyer and Manziel. I mean, Johnny Manziel is the guy who's had everything come his way, and the guy who's had success, and everything he's touched has turned to gold, and he's probably a little bit more glitz and glamour than your average Clevelander. And then you have Brian Hoyer, who's the hometown kid who's had to work for everything and, has never had anything promised to him. The moment it looks like he gets the job, really a year ago, he gets hurt and he kind of has to wait and almost re-fight for his job all over again. And, I almost feel like you and I are like the dividing line, like 35 years old is like where it is, because I have friends that are younger than me and they're like, put Johnny in. I mean, what are we waiting for? Put Johnny in, Has anybody seen what he's done in college? He could do that for the Browns. Put Johnny in. And then, I like go over to my dad's house and I talk to my dad's friends and I like leave and I'm like, did Johnny commit a crime or something? Because these guys, I mean, they've got Johnny painted out to be like the worst guy in the world. They're like, no, you can't play Johnny. He's too small. All that running stuff doesn't work in the NFL. He's going to get flattened. He doesn't even know the playbook. Hoyer's studying 25 hours a day. You know, Johnny, he got in a fight in the lobby. You know, I heard from my brother who has a next door neighbor who was one of the officers who showed up. You know, he kicked that guy. I heard he kicked that guy, and he was right in on it. It wasn't just him. Johnny, you know, what's Johnny doing out at 2:30? You know, Hoyer, he's studying his playbook. Does anybody have video of Brian Hoyer studying at night? I mean, you know, just because he's, you know, because I think it's fair to say that, you know, Johnny and Hoyer probably, you know, aren't kicking it at the club together. You know, I've never, it's like the assumptions that we all make. And, I mean, I've never seen people get so, I think, like, the quarterback skills is like the third and the fourth and the fifth argument sometimes when they get into the Hoyer versus Manziel argument. And your caller, Steve, and I were talking about this yesterday. I don't want to pick a fight, but I'll say I disagree with your caller before the break. I feel like the Hoyer people are like now rallying in any way possible. And there's like some kind of I believe there's some kind of party at like 2 or 3 o'clock, some parade maybe down East 9th for the Hoyer
North
people.
Royalton, or North Ridgeville, excuse me, out in North Olmsted, excuse me.
Yes,
that's where.
Yeah. It starts at St. Ignatius and goes to North Olmsted.
Bar crawl to North Olmsted from St. Ignatius.
Right. The Hoyer parade, you know. But
and I'm a Hoyer guy. You know that. I'm a Hoyer guy. I like him, and I think
I know.
He is
one of the
doing
worst
a decent
arguments
job.
I've ever heard. I feel like the Hoyer people are like clutching at any last straw to justify his poor play of late. Is the argument that Josh Gordon is making things worse. This is the first time I've ever heard the return of an all-pro player make things worse.
You know what, Mike? I do got to disagree with you there. And I'm digging everything you're saying, but there's some serious. Matter of fact, Mike Pettine here. I was listening to you as I was seeing his comments coming in here. He's talking to the media live as we're on the air. He actually addressed that again here today. That is. Part of the issue is that he is not. He has had what you would expect that come with. You're going to get the plus side of the talent that comes with him being able to go up there and get a ball. But he has really half of his targets he's ran the wrong route or broke off the route or just completely ran the wrong play. So much like we were mentioning, Manziel still having playbook issues. And now I have much more of a problem. Manziel didn't have a playbook in college, but Josh Gordon had 10 weeks that he sat here in the building and worked out with the trainers and did all of that stuff and didn't study the playbook, apparently. Now, I'm saying that
he should have been at Brian Hoyer's study sessions, 25 hours a day,
25 hours
that playbook,
a day.
man.
But I'm being serious. That is an issue, and that's part of the reason why the Manziel guys need to chill out, because that's another issue that Manziel would be out there dealing with on top of everything else. And speaking of issues, just want to break this. Browns fans that haven't heard it yet, as if they don't have enough injury issues, Isaiah Crowell banged up, severely limited in practice this week. So what he's going to do as far as play-wise this weekend, I don't know, but they said they've already begun getting Terrence West ready for a heavy workload and letting him know that he's going to have to pick up the slack. So on top of injuries everywhere else, there's also going to be perhaps a banged-up, limited, maybe even not available Isaiah Crowell coming out of the backfield to go along with that. And for those of you wondering, Mike Pettine verified just a few moments ago that he actually made up his mind on the quarterback decision Tuesday morning, which makes a whole lot of sense with the way he was talking Monday night. And yesterday when we came on the air, I was saying that's why I thought they're sticking with Hoyer. I said, dude, you could hear it in what Pettine said on Monday. He wasn't going to make the switch. I could just read between the lines of what he was saying. And it was funny. He was asked about the fan reaction. He said, "Guess what? The dog pound is happiest when we win the game. So hopefully that's all we go out there and do is win this game." But there you go. And talking about though, that's more reasons why Manziel would just be man. You don't want to have the kid out there to get killed, and it's not because of the way he plays. It's because of the way he plays combined with having second and third string guys all over the place here coming up this weekend, man. That's a recipe